Hello, I'm Ann Gritch, and I'm delighted to welcome you to this segment of our series interviewing members of the different ethnic and cultural groups in the Diocese of San Jose. And I'm delighted that this afternoon we have 3 members of our Chinese community. So let me introduce you first of all to Father Alberto Oliveira, who is the chaplain or pastor of the community. And with him is Melissa Kuo, and with the 2 of them is Stan Chu. And I may be mispronouncing their names, but please know that both Stan and Melissa are here with Father Alberto. So the Chinese community, when I first came to the Diocese of San Jose, which was in 1987 when I started to work, the Chinese community was already a very strong force in the diocese. And so I'm just wondering if we could hear a little bit about the history, and my sense is that probably I should defer to the older person to begin talking about the history of the Chinese community in our diocese. So, Father, it was at we became a diocese in 81, and why am I thinking it was maybe 1983 that the community got started?
In the late 70s, there was a group of students, Catholic students from Taiwan. They were already coming here, also to beginning to work here, and the Jesuits from Taiwan coming to visiting them, encourage their faith, and they began slowly to meet, to know each other, to build relationship, and that was the beginning of the community. They have the first Bible groups or prayer groups in the 78.
So before we became a diocese.
Slowly they were doing it more and more. You know, at the very beginning it was very, very simple, but they were gaining an experience and also the support of those Jesuit priests.
And then when did the community coalesce around St. Clair Parish?
Yeah, the community is established in St. Clair formally in 83 by Bishop Dumaine. In those times was Father Edward Malatesta, who encouraged the community, because before the people were more in the local churches. But the Father Malatesta had the vision that it was important for the community to establish as a formal community, to be established as a formal community.
I'm wondering too, just thinking about the world history, did you start out with mostly Mandarin speaking, or how did that work? Because
because of the
Cantonese, right, as well as the Mandarin?
The founded group was a group from Taiwan, students from Taiwan that speak more Mandarin.
Okay.
And but it is true that it is very easy to have relationship with people from Hong Kong because they're still Chinese, and also they can speak Mandarin, most of them. So, and also some of our families, maybe the wife is from Hong Kong, the husband from Taiwan, and so they are very related. At the very beginning, the Cantonese community were coming together with the Mandarin group, and after a while, they decided to have their own mass in Cantonese. Yes.
Now, are you Mandarin speaking, Stan?
Yes.
And Melissa, do you too? Mandarin speaking. So the larger group then would be the Mandarin speaking, it sounds like.
You bet.
So just tell me a little bit about the activities of the community, especially my understanding is there's a real focus on the youth. And here we have 2 young people. So tell me a little bit about what's going on in the community. What draws you there? Melissa.
Sure. So I grew up in the SJCCM community like my whole life.
All right.
And so I've been involved in every stage, going to Sunday school, growing up, and we have a very strong high school program that we call Watermark. So that was kind of mostly a weekly Bible study group that really strengthened our faith throughout the years. And we have a pretty vibrant young adult community now, both on the English-speaking side and the Chinese-speaking side. So we do a lot. We have weekly rosaries. We still have Bible studies for young adults. And most recently, we've been doing a series just trying to help young adults learn how to be adults. So that's very hard these days, you know, for us millennials. So we are learning things like real estate and investing, personal finance, all these things that you need to know. Yeah, and we want to kind of help Catholics understand the connection to their faith as well. So, you know, with personal budgeting, like we can talk about tithing as well and things like that. So it's been a lot of fun and a good way for us to build fellowship. So.
Oh, I'd love to send some non-Chinese people to get involved. That is very creative.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been great because we've been able to get the older young adults to help teach the younger young adults.
Gotcha. Now, the older would be people who are like in their 30s? Or?
Yeah, 30s, 40s, and just kind of hoping that it's a way that our whole community can be connected. So you have each generation kind of teaching the next. And we have our young adults teaching the high schoolers, and high schoolers, you know, usually will be doing summer programs for the kids, like Kids for Christ. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, several years ago, I think maybe there were high school kids from the Chinese community went to Tijuana and were building houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought that was wonderful.
Yeah, awesome.
Is that still going on? Of course, nothing's going on now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should tell our viewers that we are outside because we are in the middle of the pandemic, and so that's why we're interviewing here in the carport of the retired fathers, St. Joseph of Cupertino. Just for historical note, I decided we should say that. Stan, what brought you to the community?
Wow, I came here about 7 years ago from East Coast. Yeah, after graduation, due to the job relocation. Then immediately I was looking for, see if there's a Chinese mass nearby through the Google search engine, and it pop up our SJCCM, the old website. Then my then girlfriend, current wife, and I decided to came there to take a look, take the mass. And it was quite a good experience, and that's how we met Father Oliveira. And after that, the community has a great, like a new guest welcome team or reception. Some very nice lady and gentlemen immediately welcomed us for dinner, and for kind of like went to the home to visit the home and to meet similar age friends. And I not just went to the mass, and we have built some relationship with the local community at that first day. Then after that, I know more and more similar age friends there. Then the priest, Father O, and some senior member decided maybe we should have a similar group like Melissa's English young adults group. The only difference is the primary language would be Mandarin for like this new immigrants like us from the mainland China and Taiwan, of course. Then how we started, the group was called, it's still here, it's called Epiphany. And since then we have more and more members join that group, and right now it's still very active, about 20 people on the Bible study or seminars, those kind of things each week. And historically, about probably more than 100 people have been involved in this group.
That's wonderful.
And yeah, that's how we did the evangelization and even the new re-evangelization for existing Christians, right? And build the fellowship and even some matchmaking, matchmakers.
That's a good thing too.
Yeah, we have some friends. They became boy and girlfriend, and finally
husband and wife.
They are blessed with the sacrament of marriage.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so a lot of things, but I think it's very similar to the English young adults group. We are very blessed. Yeah.
That is wonderful. Are there people who go back and forth, or do they pretty much stay in the English and then in the Mandarin group?
We do have some. We have a great friend called Peter Chu, right? He's Canadian Chinese, I believe. Originally he was in the young adults English group, and later he knows the Chinese one, epiphany that he came to us saying, I want to practice Chinese or Mandarin and see how it goes learning the Bible faith in Chinese. He joined us for a few months and later saying, I'm more comfortable with English. Then I said, yeah, bye-bye, Peter. he went back to young adults. And then Melissa can talk more. Another reason is he met his current girlfriend in the English group. I believe that's a major reason.
That's a very good reason.
Yeah, that's one example. People can visit both groups. Yeah.
I hear the word evangelization a lot when I am speaking with you and when I think about the Chinese community. Father, how does that come about in terms of, are you teaching people to evangelize? Is it more a question of just being aware? Because, you know, our Holy Father has said that's what we are about, is evangelizing. And when I think of the Chinese community, I do think of that word. I remember talking with Kenneth Wang, and he talked about how important that was. So I'm just wondering if there was any insights you could share with us.
I think that historically it has been always this interest and this desire to bring the gospel to others. And myself, I feel it very strong because I was, maybe you remember that I was in Taiwan many years working as a missionary. And when I came here, I keep the same spirit. And I mean, the goal, my desire, my hope, all my hope is just to reach out more people. And I think that we have keep insisting in that, you know. And there are, here in the Bay Area, there are a lot of Chinese people that they're still not receiving the gospel. You know? Or people that come from Taiwan and China, and they do not find the church.
Sure.
So all the time I think in new ways to make the church more visible. So this is why we have a great website. And we always try to find new ways that the people will be easy for them to find us, and also new ways to reach out. People.
A little bit of history about the community you may not know. It must have been, I think, the late 80s, and the decision was made that all of the parishes would have fax. It was going to be important that everyone had a fax machine, and that was how we would stay in contact. This was before computers were widely used. And at the time, it was 53 parishes. How are we going to go about this? The Chinese community was the one that was incredibly helpful to us in terms of the machines to buy, how you set it up, how you train the people. And I love the fact that the first parish to go on was Our Lady Star of the Sea, which is the poorest parish in the diocese. And the last one to go on was Sacred Heart Saratoga, one of the wealthier parishes in the diocese. But the end of the story is Sister Patricia Murray, who was the chancellor at the time, was at a national meeting, and somebody was saying, well, we understand that San Jose is connected now via fax. How did you do it? What should we do? And Sister Patricia Murray said, talk to your Chinese community. So as I say, a little bit of history that might not have made it into your...
I did not know.
Good.
What are some of the celebrations that you have as a community?
Every year we celebrate Chinese New Year. That's our biggest one. So, you know, everyone wears red, the color. The bishop comes to visit us, and we have Mass together and a party afterwards, you know, with lots of food, classic. Anything you guys want to add about Chinese New Year?
I want to add that the hongbao.
Oh yeah, the red envelopes.
The bishop would give to the kids. Yeah. With real cash.
Real cash in it, yeah. Well, I was fortunate enough to serve as the bishop's MC at one of the Chinese New Year's, and I was very impressed with the reverence for the ancestors. That ceremony right at the end of Mass. That was really beautiful. I mean, the whole idea of the communion of saints, I was very impressed with that.
Right, yeah.
So that's your big celebration.
That's
we
our
have
big
also
one.
Moon Festival.
What's the Moon Festival?
In September.
Harvest Moon or?
So,
The Harvest Moon?
Like the meaning of the Moon Festival?
no, I don't know exactly how
You're
to
not too
explain
sure.
that. I know that it's very traditional, and everybody will look at the moon.
Yeah.
Can you use that one?
Yeah, it's also called the Mid-Autumn Day. I know the British people call that way. So it's similar to like Thanksgiving. Most important thing is for the whole family to gather together. Yeah, they eat the moon cake, like a moon, the cake.
Okay,
Yeah.
moon cake. I've
Yeah,
heard of
this
those.
traditional Chinese story that behind is like the wife and the famous hero, husband and wife, they miss each other and they gathered finally and eating that cake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Very
so like a
romantic.
combination. Yeah, to be gathered together.
Ah.
Yeah, so there's a Thanksgiving meaning behind it. Yeah.
Okay. That's,
And we try to use all these activities because it is also a evangelization opportunity. Each of these, like Christmas, we have big Christmas, and because there are a lot of lonely people just coming here, they don't know where to go, and there is always opportunity that we are together as a family, that we are also invite new friends. So this is having also the opportunity to bring more people and let people know us.
sure. What would you say are some of the challenges that the community faces?
Okay, I'll go first. The first challenge is that sometimes some parishioners don't feel a homecoming feeling because we don't really have our own parish, physical buildings, church by ourselves, the ownership, and there's also the trivial relationship between the local English group or parish with our community. We try to make it not like landlord and tenants relationship, but like peers or co-owners.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. That would be ideal to be co-owner, but yeah. So that's number one feelings for a lot of people
That's
have.
big. Yeah.
We wish one day we may have our own, like the Korean community.
I was going to ask if that would be possible.
Yeah. But
Of course, real estate is expensive.
Exactly.
yeah, we need more Chinese people to join our mission, first of all, right? Anything else?
I'm trying all the time, try to build, and I think that we are doing, thank God, very well. But this is always the work that you have to do to all the time keep building relationship with the local community. And I think that we are very grateful, in fact, because we have been doing great things. But as he said, there's always a feeling that we would like to feel a little more at home.
Sure.
That this is always.
Oh, I can understand
This is
that.
always something that we want to always try to grow in that sense.
Yeah. Well, it's a good goal to have, but as you say, you're going to need more people. Yeah.
Another, challenge. Let us say, I think that is challenge. I think that we are doing well and trying to grow in that. Our people is from different places. Let us say, Melissa family is from Taiwan. She has been born in here. She's an American-born Chinese. She came from China. We have people from different cultures in the same Chinese culture.
Sure.
That we come together, and we got to keep building these bridges. As I want, the speaking English community, young people will be better and stronger relationship with the Mandarin speaking, because I'm telling them all the time, your children will become friends. Your children will become, the same community, because the children will be American-born Chinese growing here. And I think that this is something we want to keep doing all the time.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
What do you see, Melissa, especially having grown up with the community?
Yeah, I think to add to what Father O said, what's also unique about our parish is kind of that people come from all over the Bay Area to go to this church in Santa Clara. So coming from as far as like Pleasanton and Fremont to Palo Alto, Mountain View, San Jose, Cupertino, and I guess this is probably a problem that the whole diocese might be facing, but just the affordability of living in Silicon Valley. It's just getting so expensive to live here, and that just means that the younger people are starting to think, you know, where can I live and stay, raise a family, and starting to think about moving out of the Bay Area, further out, or even to another state. So that's just something that I think we just have to deal with and try to be creative about.
Yeah. Now, Stan, you have a little one?
I do.
Okay. Now, what are you doing language-wise? Are you teaching Mandarin as well as English?
Yeah, primarily.
Good.
Some English too, yeah.
I think it's really important for ethnic communities to keep the language because it's so easy to. The dominant language is English, and it'd be very easy to just. I know every community we've spoken with has mentioned that as a challenge, is the language and sometimes the customs, that the children become too Americanized.
Yeah, just imagine that if we didn't have this speaking Chinese community, so many people will never be baptized. Because this is what it makes this a home, the same language. Like your father, you know, Melissa's father will be baptized very soon. He has been all the time in the community because it was very natural to be friend of these people coming from Taiwan that speak the same language, that share the same culture, and at the end he will be baptized. You know, so I think that this is very important to keep this language, the culture, for those who are here, and also like welcoming for new people that all the time come, you know, especially this year.
Are there people coming from mainland China too, or is it mostly Taiwan?
I'm from.
You're from mainland.
I think that the founder, the generation of the founders was more from Taiwan. The parents, her parents, for instance. Now we have more people from China.
Yeah,
recently.
it seems.
So this is why I was telling you that we have to build a community that is from people from different countries, from different
areas,
backgrounds. Yeah.
But it's kind of exciting.
It's great, and I think that we are doing well, as you can see.
Yes. Yeah. So what else should we be talking about? This is fascinating.
I think that we can talk about what we are trying to do in this time of pandemic.
Please.
We were able to, from the very beginning, to be with the people through Zoom, you know, and we were able to, for some reason, because God that made it possible, that we have the tools from the very beginning. We never skip a mass. We have from the very beginning the Mandarin Mass.
Wow.
In Sundays we just Zoom, what makes it very easy and very convenient. The people, you know, the lector do the reading for their homes, and the same other ministries. And we also have the rosary every day. We didn't stop, never. Every day, and now we have many days, more than 100 families joining it to read the rosary. What is mean? I think that we have grown in unity as a community in this time, that even that we don't see each other, somehow we communicate better now than before. You know what I mean?
Well, I personally will be very glad when it's in person. I think Zoom is wonderful, but there's something like right now being here with you. It's just a gift.
Yeah, but we know that what we have learned now, we will not forget.
No, this is true.
And that for many people, you know, we know now how can we reach them out, you know, through this means.
And then too, I was wondering, although right now everything is on pause, but the relationship of the community with the diocese. I know the bishop is very fond of the Chinese community. It's always there for New Year's. And you always sent people to the rite of election for the catechumenate. And of course now everything is on pause until we, but the relationship with the diocese is strong, I think.
One of the things that I think that has been helpful is first is the visit of the bishop or the support of the bishop, personal and all the time, very, very near of us. We always remember Bishop McGrath telling us the diocese is like a mosaic.
A mosaic.
Everybody is important. You are very important. That encouragement is very, very important. And many people I stand now that is on the ILM.
Yes.
You know, I think that is
that's wonderful.
Maybe you can share a little about that.
Sure, Father. So we have many people in our mission graduate from IM already, and I'm going to graduate in a few weeks.
Yes.
And the most important thing, I believe a lot of people share the same feeling, is that we built a strong relationship, not just within our own community, but with other parishes. In other words, the whole diocese. It brought my eyesight to get a better meaning on Catholic itself. And so we know the bishop, of course, the teachers, the officers, like for example you are the founder, and we have a relation with other parishioners to see if there's a program within the whole diocese. Maybe we can somehow connect each other to figure out, coordinate, to make it happen. And it's a lot of potential achievements we can do after the IM program. Faith formation, of course, and better, stronger connections with other brothers and sisters. I really appreciate this program.
Well,
and
I'm so glad you're involved. And also one of the wonderful things is you become a resource then also for the diocese. You know.
You're right. Mutual, yeah.
Mutual. It's very much a back and forth. Yeah. Well, thank you for that.
Welcome.
Well, I am so pleased we had this time together, and I thank you for making the time to come. Melissa, pulling yourself away from your computer, and probably you too, Stan. But thank you so much for being here. And we are just very grateful for the Chinese community. And I understand now you're a mission, not the Chinese community.
Since
now
2012.
Now you're the mission. That's good. Moving along. Next step is parish. All right. Well, many, many thank yous.
Thank you. Thank you so much.